Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just want to talk a little about PLTR earnings. Those came out this morning. Listened to that conference call, went over the numbers. This is another one that I'm a pretty heavy believer in, just like Tenet. I think data is just proving more and more valuable, and Palantir's proven that point every day, every news release, every new business partner that they have. I'm not sure if anybody here that's part of my channel is look or interest in Palantir or has maybe watched some of the stuff coming out of FoundryCon, but just the way Tyson's Food specifically talked about Palantir, that was pretty impactful stuff, and I think they're really the software of the future. So I will talk about a little bit about Tenny here at the end of the video. I want to get into Meta a little bit too, because I was going through their earnings and thinking about them, maybe adding them as a position in my portfolio. But obviously the stock today has been gotten pretty beat up after earnings. Honestly, the numbers weren't that bad. Overall, it was a pretty good earnings. I think we're kind of on the verge of something big happening with Palantir. The amount of government contracts that they signed recently, and what they've got in the works, and the growth that we're seeing on the commercial side is really encouraging, right? But you have a look at all these headlines here, and it's a mixed bag, right? A lot of people don't know how to write or understand Palantir. Market watch, Palantir stock falls after earnings as revenue growth slows. Here you have Palantir sees a beat fourth quarter revenue on U.S. government business strength. Stock slipped as earnings miss estimates, right? So yeah, there was a slight earnings miss. They actually beat on revenue, top line. The EPS miss was unfortunate, but it's a slight miss, and it's really not indicated for the long-term potential of this investment anyways. So really just got to disregard certain things, and a lot of these are these headlines and these big moves down, and just look at an opportunity, dollar cost average, and reallocate capital, that kind of stuff. Look for these opportunities. So obviously trading there down near $7, it was already a pretty fairly valued stock, and it's even more so today. Basically the highlight for me to take away from the earnings was just their commentary on the fourth quarter. Some people are going to write that they're anticipating a decline in fourth quarter, but I think they've done a pretty conservative guidance as far as the fourth quarter goes, narrowing that down to what it's going to be. And I think they're setting themselves up for a really big beat. Just with the government contracts that they signed, I think we're going to see explosive growth on government next quarter, and I'm looking for continued growth on the commercial side for sure. So the numbers that they're putting out on the commercial growth is absolutely amazing, and that's a powerhouse that is Palantir, and they're going to transform the world, honestly, from what I see it. Really excited about this company. If you aren't following them, I would definitely start reading into them, start watching some videos. There's a lot of good content creators out there that cover them really well, which is why I don't really cover them. I think there's tons of exposure. There's lots of people giving knowledgeable input, far more than I could ever give. But I just want to kind of do a shout out that there was earnings today, and I thought they were pretty good, and I think there's just the start of what's going to be an upward trend. Definitely the best earnings they've had in a while. So it was a rough year. So going on to Meta here. Meta down 71% year to date. I've definitely been looking at this one pretty seriously. Really interested in it. They had a good day today. Basically there's rumors that or probably more substantiated the rumors, but that they're going to be laying off thousands, or laying off here. So investors really like that, just because one of the biggest negative factors pushing the stock down right now has been the amount of capex that they've been spending. So they've got declining revenues, they've got net incomes declining, they've got operating income was down 30% year over year. The company is spending cash, but they make a lot of cash. You look at their total CapEx spend that they have, and all the money that they're putting into Reality Labs, and it causes shareholders to put out an open letter to the company and ask them to dial it back and limit this. And at the earnings call, Mark Zuckerberg told them, no, not doing that. This has his full focus, and that's kind of the unfortunate side of it too, right? Where some of the other aspects of Meta with increased competition from TikTok and that stuff is definitely causing some increased downward pressure on the stock. I think it is a pretty short-term move. However, I think there is a lot of risk in this as they try to pivot their business into this new Reality Labs thing, right? But I think it's something that a lot of people are overlooking is the fact that a lot of the spend isn't just in building a metaverse. Like, this spend is in hardware. Hardware that's incredibly hard to build, hardware that's incredibly advanced, and they're trying to scale it down to mainstream, right? And this isn't just going to be Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, but this hardware that they're building is going to be used for all sorts of AR, VR content, right? And you have to look at it that way. The other thing that there's a lot of spend on is on data and analytics. So if Meta is a company that you're interested in, they're also investing heavily on this side of this data and AI and the new world of technology that we're entering. I don't want to say data is the new oil, but every company is spending millions or billions of dollars to be front runners, be in this marketplace, because it's going to be a huge marketplace going forward, right? So if your company isn't spending on it, and it's supposed to be a tech company, then I would be worried. So personally, I think this is good, and this kind of sets me up for what I want to talk about a little bit of Tenet, right? So Tenet is kind of doing the same thing as Facebook. They've dialed back a little bit on their Chinese operations. They did that last year. They're increasing their spend on to get the Canadian Business Hub going. They took what they were going to do and they expanded on it and increased that. And now we're looking at, we're basically burning about $5 million per quarter. And, probably $6 million actually this quarter, I'm anticipating. We got earnings coming up towards the end of the month, and you got the Cupler launch this month, and it's going to be pretty exciting, right? So we've got, we'll be seeing a lot of news come out of them, I'm sure. We've got on the 11th, you got Singles Day from Alibaba. This is just a time of the year for Tenet historically, or the last 2 years, that can be very impactful with a lot of catalysts, and the Cupler Hub launching is proof of that. I'm definitely looking to see top line significant increase. I would like to see 60 million. I don't know if we're going to get it. Maybe we only see 50 million, but really 60 is what I'm looking to see. As far as bottom line goes, I think we're just spending too much money in Canada to see a great number on the bottom line, and I'm okay with that as well. So I'm not expecting for miracles here from Tenet. They've got to spend money. They've got to capture this Canadian market, expand to the US, start building up their market there, and then move on to Europe or Australia or wherever that's going to be. We saw a tweet there last week about them adding a new banking partner, right? And that banking partner does business in Canada, the US, and Australia. So there's a little nugget. Maybe Australia might be their next kind of venture, and maybe having some banking partners that are operating there is going to make that a little bit easier. We know that they're going to be providing loans to SMEs, and that's part of the carrot of the stick for businesses to sign up with them, is to get these good loans. That low friction loan is something enticeful for these businesses. And then you've got all the networking that the Cupler Hub brings to the table, right? They also retweeted this. They have this video on Facebook, so I'll just kind of play that now.
Whether you own a neighborhood gym or a processing plant, every business to some extent depends on finding the right partners and suppliers in order to thrive. Cubler is a fast-growing platform with a membership made up exclusively of business leaders from small and medium businesses operating in a wide range of industries. Kubler's networking service makes it possible for you to find and connect with other SME decision makers, creating valuable new business connections.
So one thing I want to say there about that, that's kind of Johnson's vision, is that he wants businesses to interconnect, be able to make partnerships, be able to trade, goods and services between them. And, tenant, takes a little portion of that, I'm sure, here and there. They provide the SME loans, and then at the core of it, they get access to all the data, right? And, that data is going to be huge, and that kind of ties it back into, the Meta and the Palantir that I want to talk about a little bit earlier, right? And all these companies that are, basically becoming behemoths just based off of data. Facebook came huge based on advertising. Palantir is becoming huge based on data. Tenant is going to be huge based on not just their supply chain solutions that they're being able to provide, but also now technology they're developing for clean tech, and most notably the data that they're going to be able to have and build products with, and build market reports and sell those, and on all these businesses in Canada, the US, and other parts of the world. The amount of money that can be made from these is probably going to be more than people are expecting. I think this is a very exciting time to be a tenant shareholder. Probably more exciting than it was even last year, although it was great to see the share price go up. Basically, once we, kind of got that 30 million quarter under us, basically 5 quarters ago, and then we got on the NASDAQ. That was kind of the pinnacle, right? So, some good things did happen with the company, but it's just kind of been building out for the last year, and to get us to this point here, where they can launch this thing. So we'll just watch a little bit more here.
It also provides you with a dedicated space to discuss shared challenges, to explore unique partnership opportunities, and even to prospect for new clients. Kubler Networking helps you cut through the clutter and puts your business on the radar of the most relevant business leaders across the country. Best of all, Kubler Networking and all other Kubler services are provided to members at no cost. Unlock the potential of your business by connecting with the collective power of Kubler.
So yeah, something I just want to point out there. No cost. So in this, challenging environment that we're in, companies are going to be looking at ways to expand their reach, continue to grow, and be able to do that without increased cost of capital is very interesting, right? Especially for small businesses who may not have a lot of capital for marketing and all this stuff, right? So something I just want to point out there, right? Just in this challenging time that we're going to be in, and we're getting to is just the no cost feature of the whole business hub, right? Being able to connect with others, have access to all these tools that Tenant Kubler is going to be able to provide businesses at no cost of capital is absolutely huge. So being able to gives this to businesses, in addition to the low friction loans, is what's enticed them to join the platform, and then be able to keep them there is all the services that they can help provide, and connections that they can make along the way. And if you're a supplier of products, you could be able to reach out and make networking opportunities with businesses that may need to sell your products, right? If you're a maker of something, you need somebody to sell your something, right? Not everyone makes and sells everything. Some people just make stuff, some people just sell stuff, right? So be able to create those connections and do that full circle supply chain, right? So hopefully we'll have stuff happen here too that we'll be able to see, where you got Canadian good makers that are going to be able to set up partnerships with sellers in China, and they're going to be able to get their goods sold in China to a massive marketplace, and China's going to get access to the goods that they want. Just another symbiotic part of the ecosystem that they're building, and just being no cost and low friction to get involved, right? So it's no friction. Get on there. They tie into the accounting software that they're probably already using, and then they get access to all this data, and they'll be able to leverage that data into new products. They'll be able to leverage that data into insight reports. They'll be able to take that data and do targeted advertising just like Facebook does, and Meta, and it's all launching here at the end of the month. So yeah, heavily looking forward to that, and looking forward to the earnings, right? So just when it comes time to the earnings, obviously, anything can happen. Like we saw with Palantir, they were good earnings. They gave good guidance. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good, and they still crashed 10%. So as far as what's going to happen to the share price come earnings, who knows? If they give absolutely stellar, it could trade flat, or some person's stellar might be another person's negative. At least with the current markets in, right, not always companies are rewarded. So we'll see what happens, and heavily watching Meta, and seeing where they trend to, and see about maybe adding and creating a position with Meta. Let's put it that way. And yeah, I'll be adding to my Palantir position probably shortly at these new buying opportunities, and dollar cost averaging in there too, just as I have been. So one final thing I wanted to say about all this is just about the story with all these companies, Palantir, Meta, Tenet. You have to ask yourself, do you believe in the story? Do you believe that they're going to be able to achieve what they say they're going to achieve? They're all trying to do something new. They're all trying to build something that's lasting and is going to be creative to shareholders, as well as call it maybe a bit of a moonshot as well, right? So they're all in various stages of their operations. Meta obviously is a massive cash generating machine. $5 billion a quarter is not very much to them. Palantir, they're a little bit smaller than Meta, of course, right? They're they're still around the $500 million revenue mark. But as far as like cash on hand and debt and stuff like that, they have a really good balance sheet. And then you got Tenet on the other side of the spectrum, right, where they're really new. They're just starting their growth. They're nowhere near as old or as seasoned as these other companies. And because of that, there's the outside return potential. So yeah, it's kind of like getting in at the bottom of the company, right? So just ask yourself, do you believe in the story? Do you have the conviction? And if you do, then make those outsized bets. Look for those asymmetrical returns, and have a good night, everybody. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.